Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Boy, I'm glad it's Tuesday. I don't have to watch The Flash. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If it was Wednesday, you would have to not watch Kung Fu that starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know this isn't even on our list of things to talk about. I'm disappointed now that Resident Alien's over, because now I was looking forward to that every week, and now I got to wait for season 2.
I gotta say,
I know.
That show was like the surprise of the year for me.
Did you see the end? At the end, Alan Tudyk,
yes,
that's how you pronounce his name, was saying, coming back, the highest rated new drama of the year. Not that there's a ton of new dramas, but that says a lot for sort of this little sleeper show on
totally
sci-fi. Oh, good for them.
I absolutely loved that show.
And I guess ratings wise it got better as it the first airing.
A lot of word of mouth
right as they went along. So
that's one of the few science fiction-y shows Pam will watch with me too. She enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's funny, Maria didn't start out watching it with me, but then she was in the room when I was watching it, and she kind of got into it.
I will say, I can't think of a person that I recommended that to who didn't end up really liking it. And I don't
talk to people anymore, so
but seriously, I think I probably recommended that to 6 or 7 people, and none of them had heard of it, and everyone liked it. So, yeah.
Good for him. Good show.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like, I'll do it, and while I'm waiting for this other thing, I'll do it. And maybe not. Who knows? Good. Awesome. Cool. Okay, that's not what we're here to talk about. Hey, leave us a review on iTunes. Did I ask that last week? Do that.
We talked about it last week. Yeah, it would be good. Yeah. Review and rate us on iTunes as well.
I haven't checked to see if anyone did, but we'll look into that. We'll see. Okay, let's go random. Is there anything that... Todd, what do you got?
Okay, so my either favorite or second favorite Batman story is getting very close to being released as an animated film, The Long Halloween. There's a trailer out right now that just came out, which is really good. Dave, do you know who's playing Batman? Who's voicing Batman?
I don't.
Let's just say he used to have a job, and now he's looking for work. Jensen Ackles.
Oh, I did hear that, and I didn't realize it was The Long Halloween. I knew he was playing Batman.
And I gotta say, I watched the trailer, and he seems to do a pretty good job of it. So Carmen Falcone is Titus Welver, who
I did read all that.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so it's again, it looks good.
Not only is he in everything, he's actually an action figure collector too.
He is too.
Yeah,
big time. He's a big time.
There's a sideshow
Hot Toys guy. Yeah,
big time.
So he's probably jazzed to be involved in this. But Chris Palmer's directing it, and Tim Sheridan's a screenwriter, and both of them did Man of Tomorrow, which is one of the best DC animated films ever. And so this should be good. If you like this stuff, these are superb. They're really faithful adaptations of the comics, and they always add something. And this one, like I said, I'm particularly excited for. So I think that looking forward to that. Barry, what do you got?
Just announced today, actually, from our friend Tom Spina over at Regal Robot, and I've been waiting for him to announce this because he had mentioned this to me a while ago, and I obviously kept my mouth shut. But they're releasing limited edition sets of the holochess figures from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he got the ones that Phil Tippett made for the prequels. So for The Force Awakens, they cast, and I guess they scanned the originals and they cast them and made a new set. And he got access to those to make his from those. So he's doing, I think, there were 8 original chess figures. There were 10 designs, so there were 2 that they designed and never used. I think he's doing all 10 of those. And I think he's doing 2 separate editions. One is an edition where you get all 10, and I think 77 sets of those. And those are going to be signed. There's going to be a plaque signed by, I think, Phil Tippett, John Berg, and somebody else.
Wow.
The other person that worked on them. And then there's also going to be an open edition where you can order the characters in sets of 2, And I think what he's doing, I think this is the first time he's done this, he's going to have a window of time where if you order within that time, you're guaranteed one. So it's not like they're saying we're making 100 sets or we're making 200 sets.
Yep.
It's however many orders come in, that's how many they're going to make. And then they're going to close it at some point, and then that's it, and they won't make any more. So he put up pictures of unpainted prototypes today as we record this. And I think they go for sale May 4th.
Oh,
so
very cool.
That makes sense. May 4th.
The edition will be open through June 18th. So I'm super excited about these. I've as you guys know, I've told you, I've always wanted good like replicas of those, and these are going to be the best you can get. So,
and they're going to be like the same full size of the originals.
I think they're the full size of the original stop motion puppets. They're not necessarily to scale of what they would have been on the table, but they're in scale, I believe anyway. Of what the actual stop motion puppets were. And there was a company a couple of years ago that made 2 of these as like vinyl replicas, and they never finished the rest of the set. So I was kind of glad I didn't buy into those because I being anal about this stuff. If they're going to start, I want them to finish. Here, you're going to be able to get all of them. So
didn't somebody make them? I thought. They made small ones.
They've got them for sale
ones?
at Galaxy's Edge. They've got small ones with a little chessboard. I think these are going to be quite a bit bigger and way more detailed and more accurate. So
yeah, interesting.
That's cool. I don't know what they haven't announced the price yet. I've kind of got a number in my head. If it's below that number, I'm going to order the full set. If it's not, then I might just have to pick and choose which ones I get. But I'm excited about it, and I haven't talked to Tom about it. Maybe we can get him on the show to talk about it at some point.
How many characters total are there?
There's 10 characters. There were 8 in the movie.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. I thought you just said 10. I was like, I don't remember 10.
Yeah, I think
the 2 you want is the guy lifting the other guy over his head.
Yes.
I think they're doing that as a special version. It says that's going to be available. They've got a prototype of the guy holding the other guy over his head. So I'm super excited for these, and like I said, Tom had mentioned these to me a while ago, and it's good that he's finally able to talk about them and get people excited about them. So
cool.
What do you got, Dave?
So I think, did all of us watch The Right Stuff, or Todd, did just you and I watch it?
I didn't finish it, but
oh, you didn't finish it.
I will.
Oh, Barry, you watched it, and one of your favorite things, it's canceled.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't much of a cliffhanger.
I know how much you love when you get into a show and then it gets canceled. But
I have purposely avoided starting things I thought I might like because I don't want to have that happen.
I wouldn't have thought Apple, or no, it was a Disney Plus thing.
That was a Disney Plus, but wasn't it like National Geographic on Disney Plus? The OTTs don't tend to cancel stuff as easily as like Fox and gives somebody one episode, but yeah, they pulled the plug on that. So I mean, it was okay. It was just all right.
Yeah.
I know For All Mankind's not a historical record, but it's been a lot more fun than that one was.
For that reason, it's been a lot more fun. I will say, I think I have 3 more episodes of The Right Stuff, and it's I'll get to it.
I am an episode behind on For All Mankind, so if you're about to say something about
I was going to say something and I won't.
Okay, that's too bad, because shit gets real.
Next week. Let's talk about it next week.
It's looking like it's getting real. So,
on many fronts.
On many, many fronts.
Home and away. Any other random?
I got 2 quick things. One of them kind of falls in with what you just said. I just read something that said that Jennifer Jason Leigh is joining the cast of Hunters on Amazon for season 2, and I immediately thought, they renewed that show?
I thought the exact same thing, and I never finished it. I just couldn't.
So
I stopped watching it.
Was that the Al Pacino show?
I stopped watching it, and I watch everything.
Oh, wow. Todd watches everything.
I finish everything, and I do not know a single person who finished that show. I know several who started it, and it's just really
It wasn't
odd.
that it was so bad. There's just something about it.
It just doesn't.
That did not compel me to watch it.
It seems like it's trying too hard and not connecting on any level. I can't think of any character in there that I care about in any way, and I like complete. Every once in a while, I think, I got to go back and finish that show, and then I just saw this thing today, and I was like, really? That's still.
I was shocked that they renewed
it.
But I felt like you'd watch an episode and you're like, okay, this is good. And then there would be a full episode that's like, this is awful.
Yeah.
It was very inconsistent. I wish it was canceled. I'm not going to go back and watch it.
I believe I am halfway through, or just past halfway through, and I will finish it because I do everything. But yeah.
I know.
So I got one other quick thing, and I know we're going to talk more about Star Trek next week, but I just felt like I needed to say, this time next year, assuming all goes well and everybody's vaccinated and the world starts to go back to normal, Reed Pop announced Star Trek Mission Chicago, April 8th to 10th, 2022. And that might be the opportunity for us to go back to a convention.
I would do that. So
we have to wait till April? We're not going to go before that?
No. I'm saying I would
I don't know how realistic it will be that we go before that, but that might be the first one we would travel.
What about Rhode Island in November?
Okay.
Well, maybe.
But
But
yeah,
assuming it happens.
I'm with you. I don't know.
Okay.
April of next year. Let's fingers crossed. This could be fun.
So
Mission Star Trek. Wait a
it's
second.
at the McCormick place, the same place we went to for Star Wars Celebration.
When is Celebration in Burbank?
I think it's August of next year.
Oh, it's probably August. We may need to do that too. We owe ourselves multiple conventions in 22.
I agree.
Yeah, we do.
And we may even have a scenario to go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because Barry broke the Star Trek rule.
I opened the door.
You opened the door. Okay, I just want to say, I have had zero interest in the Star Trek Prodigy series until they explained how they're using Janeway, and I think that is such a freaking cool idea. You've heard this, right?
I don't know what it is.
I haven't even read that yet, so...
We're going to do that next week, but go ahead.
She is a hologram. She's an emergency command hologram.
It's a cartoon, though, right?
So basically,
it's a cartoon on Nickelodeon.
It's a cartoon, but I'm saying so basically, they took the premise of the Doctor. They took the premise of the Doctor, and on this ship, she's an AI manifestation of a substitute commander, and which I just think is such a clever thing versus, like when you see the pictures of the characters and stuff like this, and it's like, and I was like, how are they going to shoehorn her into this? And is it going to be flashbacks and whatever? But the whole idea of like her, every time she shows up, has to say, please state the nature of your command emergency. I just think is awesome. So it's...
So I just looked it up, by the way. Celebration is August of 22. So I don't know that I'm going to want to go to Comic-Con in June or July of 22 and then Celebration in August.
Maybe we'll have to pick one of those.
We'll have to pick one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had one other quick thing was, according to my pal Chris Pratt, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is filming this year.
Yeah.
Good.
So, and he says it's going to be huge.
There is, yes. It's funny that there's all of a sudden a bunch of and I think it's probably the post Suicide Squad thing. I think like they were just no one was talking about this until that more or less was because they're just worried that that's going to step on that totally. But yeah, that is one of the things I'm looking forward to most. So
I can't wait to see what they're going to do that's bigger than Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah.
You know what else is huge? Things that you buy from Fanboy Collectibles, such as the Hot Toys Batmobile Tumbler second edition or whatever reissue available.
Yeah, of course you did, Todd.
Did you order it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, see?
Good.
Get yours
now. I want to
before...
play with it, and now I know somebody who's going to own it.
Oh, now you know someone who's getting it. So
that is available for pre-order. Check it out. Also, Sideshow, a lot of premium format stuff. Superman the movie. It literally looks like a 2.5 foot Christopher Reeve is standing in your room. Premium format Harley Quinn. X Plus Rodan with a 22-inch wingspan. What is everything you need? Why would you not buy all of this stuff? Plus pops and Kotobukias and everything. Check them out. fanboycollectibles.com. That's online, and their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the Regular Joe sent you.
The Superman looks amazing. I gotta say.
Yeah, it really looks.
It really does.
I love the Hot Toys one. He's one of my favorite Hot Toys figures, and this captures that even better. It's amazing. So
it's amazing what they can do in that scale. I mean, the level of detail.
It is, and and he's the one true Superman. So, anyways,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's been 3 episodes, so there will be spoilers if you haven't seen it.
We've held off till now.
I mean,
so can I just say? Can I start off here? Yeah. This demonstrates that Marvel can do anything. Okay, that there is nothing beyond their reach, because I didn't think they could make something that would lose my interest the way this does. And it proves that they can push those frontiers even beyond my imagination, because I so eagerly anticipated this, and at the end of every single episode I go, yeah, okay.
Now, do you think our expectations were so high and that's why it's not bad, it's just not great?
I described some of the other day as meh.
It's super well done. There are great set piece action moments in every episode, but and you know what? We were supposed to get this first. This was supposed to be the first show, and then Wanda was supposed to be the second show. Had this come out first, my expectations might not have been as high.
I totally disagree. I got to say, I think they're spinning their wheels here. They're doing everything they didn't do with WandaVision, and I think I would have watched it and been like, really? That's all the hype was about? I would have been rethinking the whole logic behind the Marvel TV series. I'll tell you, the most interesting thing so far to me has been Zemo. The two characters are not particularly interesting versions of these two characters, and the aspects of them they've tended to focus on don't make them more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and is that what happens when you don't get like a really good director? And I mean, I guess the writing is, the storyline is, it's okay. I mean, it's not
a slow motion scavenger hunt with two guys who don't like each other.
Yeah.
Well, here's
it's just
the thing.
Not dynamic.
It's halfway over already. We're at the halfway point of this.
What I was thinking. We have this slow burn of what's going on, and we're already halfway through it. That's when
I'm telling you, when they added Zemo in a ridiculously and implausible way, I was like, oh god, is this like we're jumping a shark? And I actually found his character seems to act like his character, and it's like at least an interesting element. And then,
but would they really do that?
Of course they wouldn't. They absolutely wouldn't. But you know
ridiculous.
What? This is one of the things that and I'll tell you, last week I rewatched Civil War, which actually gets better every time I watch it. Okay, because I wanted some context on him, and he is totally, other than bizarrely the scene where he's dancing in the nightclub, which I can't get that out of my head.
He's a little of a characterization of himself,
but
which is a problem.
But the competency of who he is, and his goal, his reason for being was destroying the Avengers, and he did that. He accomplished it.
We also never got any sense from Civil War that he was filthy rich either.
No, but the character is. In fact, that was one of the things that the character that he's based on is a baron and always was a baron, stuff like that. So they kind of downplayed that, but they also didn't take it off the table. Okay, people with tremendous assets can also be revenge driven and singular focused, but it was, I thought he was underexploited in that movie, and I feel like this is, he's an interesting unknown quantity, and he actually makes the two of them a little bit more interesting, just because they're not.
I think they're trying to take, the scene in the back of the Volkswagen in Was that Civil War?
Yeah.
Civil
Yeah,
War.
You
And
Won't
a
Move
couple
Your Seat.
other little, really sort of nice little snippets that we got. And they're trying to recreate those and build them out. And they're just not doing it. You're not pulling it off.
They took that element, the friction between those two guys. Okay, they took that element and tried to stretch it into a series. And God, I'm saying this, really hoping that the next 3 episodes do something much better. Okay, but they've made Falcon much more clueless than he should be about a whole bunch of things. Okay, to the point where he's now making a joke to make excuses for it. Okay, it just seems like it's just like a series of scenes after another. It's like, oh, and then we can do this, and then we can do this. The whole idea that putting a guy who is one of the most famous people on the planet, a guy who was just on TV in something that was televised worldwide, putting him in a flashy suit and letting him pass for some other guy who, in the picture, is wearing sunglasses, but they don't even bother to give him sunglasses, and then just like, oh, just that was weird.
And my probably the thing I've liked the most out of the first 3 episodes was the whole Isaiah Bradley bit. And the fact that, like, right after that sequence, he's almost arrested standing in the street because they just think he's, in the wrong place.
Well, and he's a black man fighting with a white guy out in the street.
But to your point, he's one of the most recognizable faces in the world. Like, I mean, it took them a few minutes to figure out who he was. But I did like that whole, there was another super soldier and he was African American and he was treated really badly. And that to me could be mined into a really interesting story all by itself. Which they probably will do.
Okay, that was a story from 2003, and it was Captain America, Red, White, and Truth, in which they told the story of a group of African American recruits who were basically subjected to experiments to recreate the super soldier experiment after Dr. Erskine had died. So Steve was actively Captain America during this time, but they could not figure out how to remake more super soldiers, and so they experimented on this group. I think it was 300 guys, most of whom died horribly, were mutated, whatever like this. This was an analog to the Tuskegee experiments, where they basically intentionally untreated syphilis in a bunch of African American men from the 1930s to the 70s. It's an interesting story in of itself. To just have that little kind of snippet in there and just kind of slide it in there was kind of odd.
Well, they probably did that because they're probably seeding that to do that story later.
Oh, yeah, they're seeding that because when they make Falcon Captain America definitively at the end of the series, which is cannot be telegraphed any more than what they've done. Okay, it seems both overdue and
how was a regular guy Captain America? I mean, even this stuff John Walker guy's doing.
Thing. He's going to get dosed with this super soldier serum. Yeah. Okay, one of those remaining doses. He's going to get dosed with that, and something's going to happen to John Walker.
Does John Walker have any super? There's no way he's throwing that shield around and catching it, being a normal guy.
Yeah,
you'd be dead from
training.
that.
They showed us the training montage.
They did show us that training montage. I think there's a little like Lance Armstrong thing going on there, where they're like, "Oh yeah, he's just naturally the best at everything he does," and
I wonder if that's
also
how
already
he gets
shown us that
taken
he's
out,
got a temper, and he's not.
He's got a temper. I will say, I think they missed this. They missed the opportunity for the best defining line for that character in the last episode. When he slammed the guy against the wall and said, "Do you know who I am?" And the guy said, like, "Yes, I do." He should have said, "I know you're not." Okay? Because that's who defines this guy, is he will never be Steve Rogers. And he knows he will never be Steve Rogers.
If I have,
I feel like
that kind of sums, just going to say, that kind of sums up the whole thing. The entire thing is a near miss. Okay? They kind of get there, but then they don't.
I feel like they just didn't. They said to themselves, "Look, we've got these 2 great characters. Look how great they've been in all these movies," and then they didn't put the work in to flesh everything out, because it's almost like, I read the book and I have the exam tomorrow. do I need to really do anything else in reading the book?
We got time for character development. Instead, let's talk about the economics of shrimp fishing for 20 minutes of the first episode.
Well, and here's another thing, and now we're just nitpicking, but he's got no money to save his family business, but they can hop on planes to go all over the world. Like, where are they getting? How are they getting on those planes to go across the world? Yet he doesn't have any money to help save his family business.
Yeah, and that's...
I'll be honest, I don't know that this is an indictment on the show. I fell asleep in the third episode, and I need to go back and rewatch half of it because I don't know what I missed.
I did exactly the same thing.
You know what
Gary.
happens? There's a girl...
I watched it twice because I dozed off in the middle of the third one.
Jesus, you guys. There's a girl who shows up who looks just like the girl that lived next to Cap, but she's not her at all.
She's not her at all.
That's who shows up in this.
But there's also the villain from Solo shows up in this, and I hate to say it, she just, for a Star Wars character, for them to do nothing to their appearance, so that now every time you see that actress in anything else, she looks exactly like she looked in a galaxy far, far away. Every time I see her in anything now, I'm just thinking Enfys Nest, because she just looks so much like her.
Totally forgot that character.
Well, you've only seen Solo once. I've seen it many times because it's a good movie.
In my Solo outing. I will say, okay, as Falcon put it, okay, Bucky Barnes has killed pretty much everyone he's ever met, okay, and he has court-ordered therapy, okay, and Sharon is 7 years on the run for stealing a shield and a set of wings and giving them to Captain America and the Falcon, okay, it's like...
But after 7 years and a 30-second conversation, she's convinced to come back.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, yeah.
She could be redeemed.
So were they trying hard to make you think she's the power broker? Or
wait. Was she at Tony's funeral?
She was not. We have not seen her.
No, I don't think so.
We have not seen her since.
Why? She's on the run because she took it and gave them in Berlin. It was in the trunk of her car. When they kissed, that's the last thing. And she didn't get a pardon.
No,
that's
what
ridiculous.
I'm saying. It's like this is like the.
And she turned into a completely different
black,
person.
Or if you're a woman, okay, you're going to get the short shrift show. It's the if you're a blonde white guy, everything gets handed to you show. Okay, it's
yeah,
not Marvel's finest moment.
It truly.
I think they took a huge shortcut.
And and I gotta say, there are some things in here that have been enjoyable, but they're few and far between. Okay, so let's go back to the first episode a second. You kill the dude's grandson, and you're like taking him out to lunch and stuff like that. It's like, that's not atonement. That's creepy. Okay,
I think he's circling around trying to
figure out a way to make amends there.
Yeah, but still,
I didn't have a big problem with that.
I mean, that's
no,
the
but
thing.
you can't.
How do you redeem that?
It's like, yeah, and then again, and also they've done, that's ground that probably not so much in the MCU as in the comics, but they really trodden over with Black Widow a lot over the years, is her trying to atone for her red list. And now he's kind of working the same thing. Again, maybe they're gonna pull it out. I found surly Bucky, more interesting than broody Bucky. I don't know about this Sam at all. It's just
there's just no. They're not being true to their characters and pushing them forward.
On a positive note, it's certainly, you can see the money they're spending on it.
Oh yeah,
they're all over the
that
place.
Truck chase in the second episode was that's a week worth of shooting with stunt people that normally you produce an entire episode in the amount of time it would take to make that chase. But also,
this thing is stylish for the sake of being stylish. Like the slow motion walking, the walking into Madripoor by walking across the middle of the bridge, together, shoulder to shoulder, and really, it's like all these things,
it's like a James Bond movie a little bit.
It does. It's got this very kind of they're trying to do this over the top thing, and yeah.
But they just happen to run into Sharon in some weird out of the way place. and all of a sudden she jumps in and helps them.
And
this is ridiculous.
This is sketchy Singapore, essentially. That's what it is. And it's mostly been in the X-Men comics, but Madripoor's been around for a long time. It's basically where everything sketchy happens.
It felt like this. It felt like the city that John Wick is set in.
Where's John Wick set?
No, I don't know that it's a real city, but it felt like that kind of a place. Dangerous and run by, the underworld. And
yeah, that's the big thing. What do they call that person? The
Power Broker?
Power Broker.
Yes.
Is that going to turn out to be somebody we know?
Oh, they're trying to make you think it's her, okay? By having a driver show up to pick her up and she gets in the back seat, okay? It's like having that apartment with all the stolen art and all that kind of stuff. I think.
I thought it was going to be like some character like we theorized with frickin'.
Oh no!
It's Kingpin.
Her. I think it's either
is it Kingpin
or there is no power broker, and she's like pretending there's a power broker so she can, like control all things there and stuff. But
maybe it's what's her face?
And
is it Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah,
they want to reveal somebody. They could throw anything in there. They're just so half-assed about it. They could throw some big weird reveal in there.
And then you get the I can't think what her name is. The woman from the first of the guards from Wakanda that we saw.
Not Michonne.
No, not Michonne. The one we first saw in Civil War. And I mean, so she wants to kill Zemo now, even though Black Panther decided not to. So at the end of Civil War, he kept Zemo from killing himself. She wants to take him out,
but he's out of prison, so why not?
Yeah. So it's
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's still better than some of the other crappy shows that are on.
The challenge right now is, can this pull this out of this nosedive? And if it does, I will be really happy to be back here 3 episodes from now and saying, wow, I'm totally amazed that it did this Homeland type turnaround. But I don't know how.
I think the work has not been put in, and I don't think
I mean, when you're only 6 episodes,
back.
you don't have the time to have a couple of bad episodes.
Yeah, this next episode, I guess, is equal in length to the current episode, the most recent one, which was longer, and we'll see.
It's not like WandaVision, where it's like 2 weird episodes to set everything up, and then all of a sudden they handed you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
This is like, we're doing a lot, we're just not doing it well. Yeah. I don't think they're going to turn it around.
That's my question, is whether what they really had here was about a 2.5-hour movie, and then they just had to pump it up with this other crap. And that's why.
But they also didn't. But they didn't have good writing, and they didn't have really. I mean, it's just. It's almost like, here's these 2 characters, they're fully fleshed out. It doesn't work that way. You can't just have them. You've got to either move them forward or be more like what they really are.
Exactly.
You can't just sort of.
They don't like
throw
each
different
other,
things in there.
But they like John Walker less, and they like Zemo less. So,
but do they really dislike each other that much? I didn't get that from the movies, that they hated each other or that they really disliked each other.
Oh, there was this you're not his best friend, I'm his best friend thing going on in the movies. It was just like kiddie childish thing.
Yeah, but that's not the same as them not liking each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. And anyways, it's
I don't know.
It is what it is, and hopefully what it is will be better than what it is. So
we'll see. This is the stuff that someone out there who doesn't agree with us loves this.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know who that is.
I'm kind of surprised that we're all as close as we are on the same page. So anyways, my predictions are
pain.
Sam gets serumed, gets the shield. So
all right.
I
don't want Sam to be Captain America. I don't get it.
I'm telling you, I'm
sense.
just saying that's what's going to happen. I also think, as I said this, I think last week, I think it's why we haven't seen a Hot Toys figure of Falcon yet, because the Hot Toys figure of Sam is going to be as Captain America, full blown as Captain America.
So he's got wings and a shield.
I don't know whether they're going to go there or not. Whether he's going to shed the wings somehow, But like I said, he will, the Hot Toys figure, he will have the shield and he will be Captain America.
Or it'll be a 2-pack of Falcon and Captain America, and both of them will be him. Like they did with the Boba Fett, the recent Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's also possible. Yeah. I would say that's a whole new area now, and where they can exploit more money. So, you know.
All right, let us know what you think. Okay.
So just while we're talking about a show that's not great, you know what show really sucked, and I'm really sorry I watched 2 fucking seasons of it, was Snowpiercer. I wrote that out.
You keep watching that.
I wrote that out to the end of the 2nd season, and boy, did that suck.
Okay, so this is kind of like the prophylactic thing. It's just to protect someone else who might feel the need to watch it.
Yeah, if you like Jennifer Connelly and decide you want to watch a show, guess what? They fucking kill her at the end of the 2nd season.
Did you just ruin it for me?
Yes. Oh my God!
I'm sorry. She was barely in the 2nd season anyway, because they sent her off the train to some mission, and then they don't even kill her on screen.
I can't believe you watched that show.
They didn't kill her on screen.
One episode of it.
Same thing here. I've seen 1 episode.
I watched 2 seasons of that crap, and I'm done. Not watching the 3rd season when it comes back.
Okay, I gotta make a note of this.
I needed to get that off my chest.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow.
Jeez.
It is rare, ladies and gentlemen, it is rare that Barry dislikes something, but for him to profoundly dislike something this much.
I stuck with it anyway. What the hell is wrong with me?
Yes, yeah.
I'm not Todd. I don't watch things I
was going to say, that
like.
is my level of commitment for something that I'm not enjoying. So
yeah, well, it's in a pandemic. I guess you watch stuff you wouldn't normally watch.
Yeah. No.
Like my fiance.
So in other Marvel news, we're going to touch on these. We're not going to take too long. So Kenobi either starts filming or is filming, and they sort of announced a bunch of cast, which is interesting. So we got Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are in there.
You know what's funny? When they said that it was going to be the Obi-Wan series, and we knew it was going to be set on Tatooine, never did it even cross my mind that Owen and Beru were going to be in the show, and it makes perfect sense.
It makes absolutely perfect sense, and that they would not recast them, and that, it's. I think that's great. I think it's absolutely great.
So, I mean, when you really think about it, so this takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and it is literally now 15 years after. Is it 15 years?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Revenge of the Sith was 2005?
2005.
And
that's not possible.
And I gotta say, due to the climate
the
climate, it could be 20 years afterwards, and they would still look right.
No, but what I'm saying, I can't believe it's been 15 years. 16 years, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so the people who played them, and then we were theorizing, are we going to see a young Luke?
Oh, there's got to be. I mean,
I think
why
it's
would you show them without? They just
is
haven't
it going to
announced
be
who
Sebastian Stan?
casting is.
You can't. Well, no, he's only going to be 10 years old.
I know. I'm kidding.
But you can't bring Beru and Owen into this and not have Luke running around on the moisture farm.
I think that's going to be the big reveal is who that is, and it'll be an unknown, and his life will basically be ruined.
What 10-year-old kid do we know?
That's what I'm saying. Again, though, basically his life will be ruined after this, and he's pretty much going to be. The next time we're going to see him is in a booking photo. But
I'll say this with all sincerity: that actress that played Beru, she was caught up in that whole Nexium thing, and I'm actually really glad to see that she is acting again and out of that stuff.
Good.
So who else did they announce? Anyone else that we?
Well, we talked about the fact that they announced, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, Kamal Najani.
Yeah.
So we're all hoping that he's an alien creature of some kind.
He's too... but Barry hit the nail on the head.
He's extremely recognizable.
Yes, he is very recognizable.
Everything he's in is he's most recognizable for comedy, and it'll be hard to look at him and not be like, is he going to be funny?
Oh, yeah. No, I think he should be an alien, and I think...
Although he's been in some drama stuff, that show that I think he may have even written, or that something about it, his wife is sick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a movie. He wrote that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's super recognizable as a comedian. So, but you never know. I mean, in Mandalorian, there were plenty of comedians.
There were,
Bill Burr and stuff. So
and maybe he just has a bit part.
He's different
and maybe
than Bill
it's fine.
Burr, though. I think he's had TV series, and I think at this point it would be like dropping Patton Oswalt in there or something like that. It's just, it'd be hard. So
yeah. Whether it's a CG character and he's the voice, or whether he's just under makeups and prosthetics, I think that if he looks exactly like he looked in Silicon Valley, it's going to take me out of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Maybe he'll pull it off though. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, but I totally hear what you're saying. I just think it's crazy. I mean, so we're literally having Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the series. That's just nuts.
Did you guys see the video from the set?
I did, yeah.
It's so it's on TikTok. Somebody, and it's linked everywhere. Somebody essentially drove through the set and videotaped the set under construction, and
like 60 seconds worth of it too.
It runs for a while, clip. and the person who's filming it does not sound like they're part of the production. They sound pretty gleeful to be in there.
Oh, I didn't hear it with the.
Oh yeah, no, they're just kind of like.
Right. So I mean, it's not. Nobody has officially said it's the set from this. It could theoretically be the set from the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, they both are going to be on Tatooine, but it certainly looks like Tatooine. Like there's no doubt that it's a Tatooine. Settlements of some
I wonder if they're filming them on the same place.
I would bet you that's exactly what's going on. They're
right?
now building a Tatooine set that's going to be used,
for anything Tatooine-ish.
It wouldn't be stupid if they either shot them back to back or at the same time.
Think about that. Tatooine is now like the equivalent of the western town on the back lot, because you've got what, 4 series that you could redress that set for.
Right. But I would have thought, based on everything we've seen behind the scenes of Mando, that they would have just done it in volume and not even built a huge set like that. But they're building, and we've seen footage of the Andor set too, and they're building like a small city for Andor. So
yeah.
Interesting. But didn't we say Kenobi was going to be on the volume?
I think they're shooting a lot of it in the volume, but clearly they're building these real practical towns. So.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Anyway, next thing, there was a trailer for The Bad Batch, which premieres on May 4th.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Less than a month. So that will bridge the gap between, in theory,
that goes through the end of the Clone Wars and into, everything after.
No, I just meant sort of from Winter Soldier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
Then we sort of have that probably. I don't know how long that is, but. It won't lead
and then
up to
Loki comes in June. So
yeah,
they haven't said how many episodes. They haven't said how many episodes Bad Batch is. So yeah, it might overlap.
Yeah,
Bad Batch is. I would imagine it's got to be at least 8 to 10 episodes. I mean, an animated series I would think would be more than 6 episodes anyway.
Oh, they always have been. Other than this, like the little short wrap up season that we got of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. I mean, it looks good. It seems interesting. It just seems like it seems very nichey. And there's not. We didn't see recognizable characters other than the people that they introduced, obviously, in the kind of backdoor pilot thing.
We saw a few. We saw Tarkin. We saw Ton Wee back on Kamino. I mean, there were some.
But again, it's
some
not
recognizable.
Right, but
you're right. It's not Obi-Wan and Anakin, but I mean, it's possible Ahsoka could show up in this.
She very well could.
A lot of people could show up.
And but like I said, it just seems.
And they wouldn't show us them in the trailer.
It will be interesting, and they've got to go a little different. I think I imagine there'll be mercenaries or there'll be something.
Yeah, who's in control of them now, or is anyone in control?
I think no one's.
So here's a thought though. So they show them on Coruscant. We could literally see Grogu being rescued from the Jedi Temple in this series.
Well,
it's right in that right.
What if
it's
they
right
do
at the
it?
end of the
What if
Clone
that's
Wars.
their mission?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I completely pulling this out of my ass, but
yeah.
Like they're on Coruscant right at the time of Order 66. Anything's possible.
So they are there. Let's say it picks up right after Clone Wars ends. That is literally in the middle of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I mean,
what if
why wouldn't they want
the arc is them rescuing Grogu?
Why wouldn't they want to tie it into that? I mean, he's the most popular thing in Star Wars right now. Why wouldn't they want to tie it into that?
That is cool. I had not in the slightest considered that, but yeah.
I don't want to be disappointed now if it doesn't happen, but I'm just thinking.
No, it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm disappointed.
It's where it's picking up right at that moment in time. Like
I don't know. I feel a little manipulated by the whole thing. I just like every time.
No, you feel manipulated by us.
I just feel like
coming up with ideas that are not real.
So designed to like just totally like sell products that we are all at this moment. By the way,
we're holding up our baby Yodas.
We're holding up baby Yodas.
Mine's over there. I'm not grabbing them.
And it's So yes, they will sell more product if they do that. There's no.
That would be interesting, though.
It could be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the Clone Wars so much.
Oh, me too. And that's what I'm saying. I don't see the hook in this that I did. I'm not. I'll watch it. Obviously, I love the Clone Wars.
It's only one trailer. The next trailer. You see the outline of the little thing or something.
Ears, yeah.
Barry, you got to make that happen. Yeah. Is Filoni involved in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. It kind of is. So,
yep.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, could be. It's going to be good either way. It could be great. We'll see.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it. And, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next thing is there is a Black Widow trailer that came out the other day for the...
Yeah, right after they announced that it was, definitively gave it dates and when it's launching. Yeah, it came out with another trailer that shows a little bit more than the previous trailers did.
That's what I'm saying. There's definitely new footage in there. It looks wild. It looks like there's a lot going on here.
It really, really does. I find it interesting that... And I wonder if the opening montage, which really ends with, like, her... about to die. That seems really... I wonder whether that is actually part of the movie or that's just part of the pitch.
Well, didn't they say this takes place right after Civil War?
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, but, they're talking about all the decisions she's made, the mistakes she's made and stuff like that, and goes right up through, up to that point. So, yeah. That's it's just interesting, and that may. I
almost feel, and I could be completely wrong. I almost feel like they almost have to have that as a setup in the movie, and then this all.
You think this is
back.
Like the last thing she thinks of, or something like that?
I don't know, but grim. Like the Solo thing to have Han Solo die in a movie and then put a movie out, a year later that is all about that. I know it's been a little bit more time since Black Widow died, but. I almost feel like Disney as a corporation learned from that mistake, and they have to somehow say, here's this character's ultimate fate, now we're flashing back, and here's something that happened earlier. I just feel like they've got to tie it.
And that's where,
somehow.
Like I said, I also feel like using that as the setup for it pretty much eliminates the chance of they're doing a sequel to this, which they can still do. They've got a lot.
Here's the thing.
They've got a lot of time.
Does her sister become the next Black Widow?
I think her sister becomes the next Black Widow.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, there's potential to do another installment in the Black Widow Chronicles. I mean, we there is time. We don't know what she was doing. I would love to see, maybe her and Clint do something before he just gets totally goes off on his Ronin.
It's going to get harder and harder to do, though, because so much time keeps passing. Yeah. And they're not getting any younger, and not that she's old by any stretch, but it's hard to keep having her at the age she's at now go back and play herself 10 years earlier. And
you say that, but I just watched Civil War with a 3-minute scene of Robert Downey Jr. in his 20s, and
but 3 minutes isn't a 2-hour movie.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying it's like there's a lot.
You really think about she was in Iron Man 2 when we met her.
Yep.
What year was that? 2010?
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't look any different in Endgame, other than her hair color.
She does.
She does, but I mean, she still looks great, but she looks older.
She does look older, and she should. And also, it's longer in movie time than it is in real time, because they had the time jump.
She's also no longer under contract and very expensive to bring back for another movie. Which, if they can have a different actress player who's maybe now under a 10-picture deal.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be. I'm curious if they set that. You almost like you start with her on the ledge, you go back, and then the sister. Oh, here's all our theories that never pan out, but and then Grogu shows up because they can sell more products.
Grogu shows up and Obi-Wan pulls up in a speeder and hands Grogu to yeah.
But maybe the sister then realizes how she sacrificed herself and takes on being Black Widow. There you go.
But here's another thought. Do we need another Black Widow, or can it just be another character who fills that role without being the character Black Widow? Just like, do we need another Captain America? Can't Sam just be another character?
Is she Red Widow? Is she whatever? Yeah. Also...
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they ever refer to her as Black Widow in the movies?
No, they call it... Actually, I think her code name is the Widow, and that's referenced
right,
at
but
some point.
They always refer to her as Natasha.
Yeah.
Just like they never called Scarlet Witch up until, this
and which we don't think of because... Exactly. We don't think of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Curious. So one last just question about that. Is there any chance she comes back from this?
Or you mean resurrected?
Yeah.
I hope not. I mean, as much as I like the character, there has to be real consequences in this universe.
Well, they took 3 of the longest standing characters off the board. Can they get away with bringing one of them back?
How
does she want to come back?
That's the question.
They can do whatever they want. I mean, geez.
I mean, there are I guess, time stones out there. There's all kinds of infinity stones that could technically bring her back.
Gamora is back, and Loki is back after being killed through alternate versions. So, anyways, it'd be interesting. Yeah. I'm kind of where you are, Barry. I hope this is definitively it, because at that point it's just like, yeah.
I love 2 franchises most of all. One of them keeps bringing people back from the dead. I'd like the other one not to do that.
Yeah. I think
it's not like the comics where they're just sort of
reboot. Yeah,
rebooting and rebooting. It can't be like that because there's not that many movies. It's not like 30 titles and one a month.
There's a great exchange in the Starman series where he's very young as a hero, and he says to one of the veteran heroes that, he was in a battle with this guy, and the guy got killed, and he says, so you saw the body? And he said, well, no. And he said, well, no, he's not dead. He says, if you don't see the body, he's not dead. That's how it works. It's just a given.
The Gamora thing was almost like a loophole. I can't see them.
It was totally a loophole.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's the same loophole for Loki, and boy, are they leaning into it, which is, I guess we're going to talk about next.
There you go. So Loki trailer. I only watched it not that long ago, half an hour before we did. Boy, that's all over the place, and I kind of like where they're going.
Oh,
with that.
I do
it's
too.
Like this sort of
too.
time bureau crazy all over the place.
This is going to be much more WandaVision, I think, and where it's like a little bit off the rails. I love that he's got variant across his back.
Yes,
like Prisoner. Okay, or POW.
Well, and Owen Wilson is the perfect person to play against him. That's great casting.
In the whole that they're trying to use him to correct the broken timeline, the fractured timeline, because he's a byproduct of that, and he's expendable by virtue of that. And
that I couldn't really tell you what's going on in that trailer. But it all looks good. It's just all over the place.
It also looks more fun than what we're watching now on Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I feel like that's part of what's missing from that show is it's just not a lot of fun.
You have literally stabbed someone in the back 50 times.
Yeah.
But I'll never do it again. It's like, yeah.
And maybe that's what, when we were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe that we kind of didn't hit on that, but it's one of the things we've always said we like about the Marvel Universe in a lot of ways over the DC Universe is that it doesn't take itself so seriously. And Falcon and Winter Soldier feels like it's taking itself very seriously.
I would also say, Barry, not to go back to that too much, is I don't think we've ever had much dimension to either one of those 2 characters, whereas Loki has played both sides of the fence, and you know that he plays both sides of the fence, and so he's interesting in that regard. And he's also completely self-interested, and that's fun to watch. My expectation for this is dialed up a couple notches after that.
Yeah, I agree. And I was like, Owen Wilson could sometimes have a little bit of oh boy, it's Woody Harrelson. But
Right.
once I saw him in it, it looked cool.
Yeah.
And I like that woman, Gugu. I don't
Yep.
know how to pronounce her last name, who's in a lot of stuff.
Right.
She's good. I'm not sure what she's doing in this, but I like her.
I would have never thought casting Owen Wilson in a Marvel situation would work, but it seems like they found the perfect spot for him.
I
He
agree.
almost is like the Collector.
Yeah.
You know, he's sort of this weird offset, does a
Yeah.
whole different thing. You kind of see him once in a while. That's what I feel like
Right.
you're getting.
and
out of him
and
in
that's
this.
and I think I kind of was expecting this to be the misadventures of Loki, and I like the idea of it being kind of guided and driven by an agenda, and his working actively advancing that while working against it is kind of a clever thing. So
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So.
And we don't have to wait too long for that one either, which is great.
No, that's like less than 2 months or 2 months ish.
that's great.
Okay, so let us know what you think of any of that stuff. All looks good, but then again, so did Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But
Maybe we'll be singing a different tune by
Okay,
next
we
week.
may. Hey, I'm open.
Not rating that, not to give that a rating, but what do you think the odds are of their pulling it out?
I think difficult because I was like I said before, I was concerned about WandaVision because I was like, what's going on here? There's a lot of thought. I don't feel like there's a lot of thought put into this. I don't
felt
think
that
there's a lot.
This was the one they could
a lot
mail
of
in.
work put into this.
Yeah, this was the easy one. I thought.
Yeah.
If
It's
the
like-
first episode had been slow, if it was just that the first episode was a little slow to get going, and it picked up from there and started running, but we're 3 episodes in and we're still questioning it. That's 50% of the show. That's like not.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
That's the part
think
that makes
either
me
this has
worried.
got to be really strong, and I'd say somewhere in the 30% range is the possibility that it could get exponentially better.
It's got writing and directing issues. I mean, it's not that was not the case in other stuff. It's like I don't know what's going on. This has got
It's hard to start
fundamental
weak
issues.
and finish as strong as this needs to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like pizza and Star Trek. It's not the worst thing in the world.
No,
It's-
and,
and I also
and
think
maybe
that-
I'm a little bit less invested in these characters too, and maybe that's part of it.
I think the standard has been. Also, the other thing is, and I think we underestimate here, is these are 2 sidekick characters. These are 2 characters who always been in the shadow of another character who's taken off the board, and there's just a little kind of meandering because of that. And I almost feel like if they had just spent a little more time in an interesting way developing who these guys were, it could have been better. But
They didn't do the work.
They didn't do the work.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, let's go. What's in the box?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, what's in the box?
It was 2 extremely large boxes. Actually, it was totally.
What's
it was,
in the 2 extremely large
It was 4 boxes, 2 very, very large ones. I'm texting you a picture. I can't hold it up because it's just too big. But I got a new drum set.
Oh,
Did you have an old drum set?
I
Did
had
you play the drums?
I do play a little bit. I had bought for 2 of my boys wanted a drum set 2 years ago for Christmas. We got an electronic drum set. It wasn't full size in any way. It was a smaller, but it had all the important things you needed. And twofold why I got an electronic drum set to start. One was I didn't know how serious they were going to be, and I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a drum set. And 2, I wanted to be able to regulate the volume, which you can't do with regular drums. You can do with electronic drums. Turns out,
what is this? What are we looking at?
well, I'm
here?
going to explain that. Turns out
Okay,
one of
thank
my
you.
2 sons did really take to it, played it a lot. I played it enough, but not as much. My other son doesn't really touch it that much. This is a full-size electronic drum set. So it's the same size as a real drum set. The drums are the same sizes. The cymbals are the same sizes. It's just all electronic. This is a semi-pro level electronic drum set. Expensive compared to the one I had bought for them originally, but really good. Like this is like you could play clubs with this if you wanted to. Like this is a real size drum set.
What's on the drums? Like, what's the the skin or
so
whatever?
they're made of mesh. It's a mesh material with triggers underneath it, and it feels like playing real drums.
If you have no volume on, does it sound like a lot? Or?
You hear a pat of it, but it's not like as loud as real drums. You can play this with headphones and make it as loud as you want and not disturb anybody one floor up. I've got it going through a PA system that we have two speakers for, and if you wanted to, you can make this louder than any real drum set, but you can get it to a good volume where you really feel like you're playing real drums. The nice thing about this over a regular drum set is a regular drum set sounds like the drum set you buy. This has 2,000 samples built into the unit, and it's got 130 different pre-made drum sets in there. Everything from all different kinds of wood. So you've got, an oak set and a maple set and all these different things. Wow. And then they've also got drum sets that sound like real drummers. Like you've got John Bonham's drums, you've got Phil Collins drums, you've got all these other people. So, we got it. I ordered it 2 weeks ago. We got it. We set it up last weekend. I've been playing it a lot. My son's been playing it a lot. It's awesome. I'll send you guys a little video clip of me
that's
playing
great.
with
No,
it.
that's
I'd like
awesome.
to see you're going to play Tom Sawyer.
It's funny. It's got a drum set called Pictures Moving, where what's really cool about some of the drum sets that they have in there, because it's all electronic, and each drum, the skin itself has a sound, and then the rim, if you hit the rim of the drum, it has a second sound. There's 2 different triggers in them. So some of the Tom Sawyer one has like the keyboard sound from the beginning of Tom Sawyer when you hit some of the cymbals or drums. So you can play stuff like that. There's also there's a funky bass one where you're playing the drums and then you'll hit some of the cymbals and it's playing bass lines, and so you can do so much more with this than you would with a regular drum set. Now I am not a drummer. I am the first one to admit I am an amateur drummer. I'm a much better guitar player than I am drummer, but I dabble in keyboards, I dabble in bass, I dabble in a lot of other instruments. So it's fun now to have. The one that we had was fun. I wouldn't call it a toy. It was a step above a toy. This is a real drum set.
That's awesome. I would say, Barry, I can't give you more than a C on your cable control. The next time I visit, I'm going to bring a roll of Velcro wrap, and we'll clean this up.
It came with about 25 Velcro wraps, and that was
I can see that.
Kind of the best I could do.
But it's still not. It's still not anywhere near what it needs. So this is really cool.
It's an awesome
Is that
set.
all that wires going into a controller?
There's a controller, and every drum and every cymbal's got wires going to it, and some of them have two wires going to them. But this was it's funny. This is what I was saying to you before the show. This drum set, I bought it, and it wasn't like I felt any pressure to buy it. It was I wanted to buy it. We bought it. A week after I bought it, it went up $500.
Yowza!
Wow.
So a lot of people. I joined a Facebook group for this drum set just to get a sense of what people were saying about it before I bought it and read reviews. And people in that group are bitching because they were watching it and waiting for the right time to buy, and now the price has gone up quite a bit. So anyway, it's the Alesis Strike Pro SE drum set.
That's cool.
Yeah. Cool. Todd, what's in the box?
Okay. So I showed you guys a picture of this in process. Hot Toys has yet to make a Mantis figure, and they previewed one. They previewed one almost a year and a half ago, and never went ahead with it. And you can go on Sideshow site and you can still express your interest in it. I will probably buy that when the time comes, just because I love the Guardians. This is a kit that I bought. It's I pre-ordered this quite a while ago. The company's called Super Duck. It's the second one of these that's been made. Somebody else made one which was really not good at all. This one, they've got the fabric and material and all the detailing. They did a really, really good job of it. It's made to fit a very specific figure, which is a
whose
really
body
large,
is way out of proportion.
really large
figure?
chest. Really, really large
I noticed
chest.
that when I thought it was a Hot Toys figure, and I said to myself, they don't do chests like that normally.
And that's what it was designed for.
That's a Fison body?
It is a Fison body, and it was
Yeah.
a large-breasted one, and that's what they tell you which one to order. and it is, you know, I guess straight on it's not bad, but it's
at least the skin tone on the head matches the arms, because a lot of times those heads don't match.
That's where they told you which one to get, and if there was I actually considered buying the medium one, and the suit would have been baggy on the medium one, so it was really fitted for this one.
Because not the same company, but they did a Slave Leia head sculpt and outfit, and even the body they told you to get, the skin tones from the head to the rest of it didn't match. And that's where,
like I said, this matches absolutely perfectly. They did a really good job with that. It looks really good. And again, the costume's super well made. It's got a zipper and three sets of magnet closures in it, and so it took me a good 45 minutes to get her dressed. I'll post some pictures of it. It's again a really, really good looking set. And she's a good placeholder until they actually do make one. I will say I probably have about $160 into it between buying the body and buying the set. The set itself is going for much, much more than it was pre-order online now. So I don't know if I had to pay what they're getting for the set now and then buy the body, whether I would do it, because that would put it up in the Hot Toys range. But like I said,
it's going to be really interesting to see when the world really goes back to normal, if the prices of collectibles come down. But every collectible thing that I'm remotely involved in or that I watch, prices are crazy right now. I find
that bizarre, because I would have expected there would be, but I think it's just people aren't spending money. And so
they have nothing else to spend money on.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Did you see that Bob Iger is going to be taking the Topps trading card company public? He's like now involved with Topps.
That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I just read the article today.
That's weird.
Trading card. Like I've been watching Star Wars vintage Star Wars trading cards. They now call the card number 1 the Luke card, which was the very first card from the very first series. Now they call that the Luke rookie card. That card's going for over $100. That card was like $5 2 years ago.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
I have those. I don't know where those are. I know I have them.
You do have them.
We used to use them as a chair for... I know. I don't know where that box is.
Yeah. So...
that's funny.
Dave, what do you got?
All right. I have... this was a gift. This is 100 movie scratch-off thing. So it's one of these posters that it's got 100 little squares, and then underneath is the name of 100 movies you should see, and as you see them, you scratch them off.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And then there's little icons, like, I don't know if you can see right here, like, there's when you scratch off Alien, there's the little Alien icon.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's the Fight Club icon.
Oh, the soap. That's cool.
I haven't read all of them.
Are they in order? Are they alphabetical? Or how?
They're not in anything. They're just moving. I don't know. I haven't really unwrapped the poster yet, but there's movies I probably don't want to see. The Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't know. But then there's,
You have to, because it's on the poster. You have to watch all of them.
You got to go there.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool. Mark gave that to me.
There's 27 dresses on there?
I haven't read them all. I'll let you know. We should make one.
Oh, yeah, we should.
In fact, we should probably do like the regular Joe's 100 best movies of all time.
Top 100. I like it.
That's a long list.
No, this could be instead of the Joe Awards we used to do.
That's what I'm saying, which is no point to. We should think about that. In fact, we should start a spreadsheet, and if we got our two alternates in on the spreadsheet, then we'd 5 people. You could. You know what I'm saying? If you
do we want to do just any movies? Do we want to stick
any
to
movies?
sci-fi?
And you put them in. Yeah. You put them in your orders, and then but with 5 people, it would, you could rank them. You could you know what I'm saying? If 3 of us put something as number 1, and only 3 of us, that would be number 1.
If everyone had a list of 100 movies and put them in order, which is next to impossible to do.
Oh, I don't think so. There's 21. There's 23 Marvel movies.
I just don't know if I could literally put them in any kind of order.
I'm telling you, of the movies we've talked about, we We should play with this. It's.
But theoretically, if we used all 5 people and you add up everyone's numbers, the number one movie would be the one that has the lowest additive number. Like in theory, right? So let's say we all give Star Wars number 1.
Right.
Its numbers add up to 5. So the movie that has the lowest number is the number one movie. So we sort of do it in order. And then if there's ties, we have to all vote on them or something.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then
it's something for us to work on. I like this concept.
You're hearing this right on the air.
I hadn't thought about that, Dave, but that does make absolutely sense. If a movie scores 5, it is automatically number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be 7. We don't know. The lowest.
Yeah. No, that's.
Could you imagine if we were still doing the Joe Academy Awards? What would we do this year?
Nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no way of doing it, but we should think about this. This I think could be interesting.
The definitive regular Joe's 100 best movie list.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. Daryl and Brian, if you're listening,
you're involved now.
you're involved.
We just automatically roped you in here.
Drafted,
and this will be our episode for the week, somewhat between now and July.
What if we do this for our 8th anniversary?
Which is when?
Which is coming up in April. No,
May.
Coming up in
let's
May.
do that.
May 18th?
Let's talk this over. Yep. So,
how are we gonna? We're gonna list them all.
We have a spreadsheet with 5 columns.
No, I'm saying on the
or maybe
air.
we break it out and maybe we go from 100 down to 10 each episode, so that we break it out over a bunch of episodes.
Oh, and just do it as a segment over a bunch of episodes
rather than try to do
100
movies. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, that could be.
This is how you.
This is more show prep than we've done in months.
It would be, but I think if like I said,
I mean right now, right here, this is more show prep than we've done in months.
This is actually true. Yeah, people, this is how the sausage is made. Not, but
it's usually 3 random texts with one of us not paying attention.
What are we doing tonight?
And then asking what?
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Just as a random aside, after I watched the final episode of Resident Alien, I texted Sean Huckster, who's I'm sure listening, so hey Sean, and I said, I really hope you're 3D designing and 3D printing the little device that he holds.
Oh my God, yes.
He's like, I wasn't, but I am now.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah. I
Sean,
love that.
if you're listening, if you can print the frame of it, I will laser cut green plastic squares because it sort of lights up, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, well, I told him I want it to light up, and he's like, he said he's on it. So
yeah,
you make the frame. Is it like black? I gotta look at it again. Is it like a black frame?
I think it's a black frame. With,
it's a lattice kind of thing.
It's almost like a.
It's like a
it's
lot
almost
of
like stained glass.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like that, and it lights up green or red depending on the button you push. But
I have a bunch of this green plexiglass right here.
Oh, from your
from the cube.
The cube.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a neat thing to have.
How cool would that be? As soon as I thought of it, I'm like, Sean's got to be making one of these. So
no, good.
You could probably design it in Tinkercad too, Todd.
Yeah.
But we need the button. We need a working button. Sean's good at designing all that stuff. Not to say Todd's not, but
no, because I actually
totally
think that 3D printing the interior of it might be, Anyways, we talk about this. Yeah, Sean's like a god as far as that stuff's concerned. Yeah. So, but it's
that'd be cool.
So now I think I just committed him to making at least 3 of them for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Well, he's
one for himself.
4. Yeah. Sean actually, I got to say, Sean came to a few weeks ago. Sean came to my class and spoke to my students about 3D printing and it was
awesome.
It was super great of him,
cool.
and the kids got a lot out of it, and I'm going to rope him in again. So,
cool. Excellent. Okay, we covered a lot of Marvel ground today.
We did,
and have 2 projects for ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
One workbench and one long-term thing. So, you're welcome, people.
Yeah,
we do it for you.
That's right.
We do. Next week. What are we doing next week? Did you guys see Kong versus Godzilla? I haven't watched it.
Not yet, no.
We have not yet. We've also got to talk about Invincible. So,
yeah, we really should talk about Invincible next week because it's
people. If you're not watching Invincible, get going on that. So by the time you hear this, there's 5 episodes, and I can tell you 4 are definitely worth watching. So,
okay.
Well, you haven't seen the 5th one yet. So.
As we speak, I've seen one. As we speak, there is a Wand Company update number 3. It just popped into my inbox.
I haven't. My email's not open, so I haven't seen it.
It just popped up now. So maybe there'll be something we'll talk about. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.